Radio MD.
RadioMD.com.
Melanie Cole's Health Radio. It's radio that's good for you.
We all know that in the summer you want to look tan. You feel like it looks healthier. We hear about the risks of laying out in the sun and sunscreen. We've talked about that ad nauseum. But here's some interesting new ways that you can look bronzed and you can get that healthy summer glow without resorting to a lot of chemical bronzing agents and or sitting in the sun. My guest is Betty Light. She's a lifestyle expert. Betty, give us some of your best tips for that summer bronzy, healthy, toned tan look.
Well, first and foremost, I recommend that you whiten your smile because, believe it or not, a whiter smile makes you have a really great glow, especially because you smile more and that you'll feel more confident about your teeth. There are various ways you can whiten your smile. You can use over-the-counter whiteners. You can get professional whiteners, or you could even think about permanent whitening, and you can ask your dentist about non-invasive, painless veneers. There are a number of really good options out there.
Well, you're in Los Angeles, so I imagine that white smile. Boy, some of those look almost neon with the celebrities and things out there, but that's a great tip to what people don't even think about that. Give us another one.
Another one is wear lots of white. That just makes you look tan and feel cooler. It's just amazing that white really brings out whatever kind of tan you may have in your skin or even may not have in your skin. Another tip that I recommend people do is pile on a lot of turquoise jewelry. It makes your skin look sun-kissed as well. Wearing neons, corals, and gold colors for nails on both your fingers and your toes spell summer in my book, that's for sure. And then here's the obvious, use a bronzer on your face. A little dusting all over your face with special emphasis on your cheekbones works sunless tanning wonders. It's just amazing.
I love these tips. I love this because it's absolutely not going to one of those spray tan places where you don't want to inhale that stuff anyway. The turquoise jewelry, that's an interesting, really Florida or maybe in Los Angeles summer look. It really is, and it's such a great idea. And white with turquoise jewelry and some nice big earrings that are those colors and big shells and things. I love those ideas. And when you say nail polish, neons, corals, and golds, I don't think about golds as much. That doesn't make you look washed in the hands?
Not at all. Try it.
Wow.
You'll see.
As
well as coral lipsticks and sheer gold eyeshadow makes you look really glowing. Makes you just look so summery and glowing.
I love that because I do coral lipstick and I like those. Well, I don't use gold eyeshadow. I use sort of a whitish, but I see what you're saying. The gold really gives that whole bronzy look. Give us another one. I love this.
Yes, and of course, blonde highlights brings out the color in your skin.
Does gray work?
Well, you can put you can camouflage them by putting some low lights on your gray. So in other words, if you put a little dark streaks in with your gray, it makes you look sun-kissed. Believe it or not.
Well, I wasn't talking about myself. I'm talking about people I've heard about.
Well, I do a lot of covering up of gray on my head, that's for sure. So I do add in a few blonde streaks just in the summertime.
People think of some of these suggestions that you're making, the coral lipsticks and the turquoise jewelry as being, something you would do in Los Angeles or Florida. What about in the Midwest? Do these things still fly, or do you look like you're coming from a resort?
No. Well, actually, why not look like you come from a resort?
That's true.
It makes you feel good. It really does. Like, I really think that when one has a glowing look on their skin, it makes them look more relaxed and like they just came back from a vacation. So what's wrong with that? Makes you feel great.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right?
And I don't even always think about putting nail polish on in the summer because I work in my garden so much. But whenever I do know that it makes me feel better. It makes me feel, isn't that pretty? So when we're done today, Betty, I'm going to definitely I am going to go do my nails. Give us another one.
Well, let me just say one thing. I try really hard to stay out of the sun. I just, because it's like I'm into holding on to every collagen cell I've got left in my body. So I tend to turn pretty white, especially my legs. Okay? They kind of become a very sickly white color over the winter, and by summer I'm almost like, oh my God, there's no way I'm going to expose my skin. So I do use a sunless, all natural tanner, on my legs. So I put that on, and then I feel really confident that I can then at least show my legs. And I just do one small, it's like a white cream. I just put it on my legs. It turns within a few hours, it turns my legs kind of just a little golden color, and I have all the confidence in the world to show my legs in a skirt or even in a pair of capri pants, that type of thing. So I really recommend that if you tend to be self-conscious about your white legs.
Well, I used to love sitting in the sun so much more. And now at 51 years old, I notice those little squares, and sometimes they're squares and sometimes they're round. What we used to call liver spots on my mom, but my God, now I've got some of them on my legs, on my calves. I hate them, but I love the look of a tanned leg. You always look like you're thinner and toned. And how do you pick one of those leg bronzers? I'm afraid that I would look like a glowing, I don't know what, but I wouldn't be able to put it on evenly or smooth.
Actually, it evens out some of those, kind of spots on your legs if you find a good sunless tanner that you can live with. Honestly, it's a lot of trial and error. I think I've probably gone through 3 dozen of them over the years till I found one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I just because you can look kind of too orange or you can get too streaky.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yes. So it's just trial and error. I prefer just the white lotions that are really easy to apply, and just keep looking for the one that works, because when you do, you get married to it and you just love it to pieces, and you wouldn't live without it in the summertime. I do highly recommend it because I do believe it evens out the spots.
Well, I have dark sort of Mediterranean Jewish skin, so I'm kind of lucky because even in the wintertime, I look like I've got sort of a perpetual tan. However,
lucky you.
I am a little bit lucky, but I'm also 4'10". So the clothes, you see these girls out there and they're in these long flowy dresses and summer clothes. And what do you recommend? We don't have a lot of time left, but what do you recommend for clothing in the summer to help us feel? You said white. I always feel like white makes me look like a marshmallow, but I do love the look of it. And I see my niece, she's gorgeous in this white dress and white shoes, but I can't seem to do it that often. What do you recommend clothing-wise?
Well, I do think that you should stick with one color, and I think that white would look fine. I would go with the lightweight linens that kind of flow and move with you. I would try to use as much clothing that is as much, kind of shaped versus, just kind of too baggy. But I feel like the white linen is fine on someone that's short. I think it's fabulous because it looks beautiful in summer. It looks fresh. You combine it with your turquoise jewelry, your coral lipstick, and a few streaks in your hair, and you're going to look amazing.
That's awesome. So me and my tie-dyed clothes that don't match everything else, that's what I generally, my summer outfits.
Stay with monotone. Because that makes you look taller. It makes you look taller. Even the shoes. Yep.
That's not even something I would have thought about. Where can people find out more about you, Betty?
Oh, well, they can go to lightyearsahead.com, and they can find out more about me. And just remember that I think of all the tips that I just gave, you got to smile a lot. And having a really great white smile is really, I think, the biggest sun-kissed look you could possibly have.
That's awesome. Light years ahead. You can find out more about Betty. What a great guest you are, Betty Light, lifestyle expert. Great tips today for a Friday. And that's really what we really like to do here at Melanie Cole's Health Radio Show is talk about these great tips, and especially on a Friday. We love to do that. So have a great summer, everyone. Try some of these tips. If you missed any of them, you can listen anytime, on demand or on the go at radiomd.com. Thanks so much for listening, and stay well.